How in the hell are you going to heal the world if you haven't healed yourself first? To explain how I got to this question, we've got to go way back to 2016, the 2016 elections, in fact. Back then, I was working for a climate startup nonprofit. I had gone to law school. I wanted to affect change on a grand scale. And our whole strategy was based on her winning. We told ourselves that he wouldn't win. He couldn't win. Because if he did, we would be screwed. We might as well close up shop. Of course, we all know what happened. And so in the 4 months or so following that election, I was in a deep, dark depression until about March 2017. I stumbled into what I call my science-induced spiritual awakening. I began to study complex adaptive systems, the epic of evolution or big history, and it led to what I call the cracking open of my God concept. It eventually took me from a very commonly held materialist paradigm to one where I see consciousness as primary. Now, this is important because the theory of consciousness as primary actually is support for things like our thoughts create our reality. So if this was true, I became obsessed with this question. If our thoughts create our reality, how can we use that knowledge on a collective scale? It's really the law of correspondence at work. If it's true in the microcosm that our thoughts create our reality, then it must be true in the macrocosm. And so I began to figure out how this might be the case. How would this operate? What I realized is that in order to heal the world, we've got to heal ourselves first. And so I set out on a path of learning all that I could. I'd really begun earlier, back in 2014, studying meditation, self-compassion, Buddhist practices. And I began to put those together with what I was learning about coaching, transformational coaching, executive coaching. Recently, I've married my process with dream interpretation, which I think is critical to aligning ourselves with our highest wisdom. And so, as a result of all of this work that I've been doing to put these methodologies together, I've done the work of healing myself too. Not saying I'm all the way healed at all, but at least I'm healed enough to be in front of this camera talking right now. And so to be leaders of the new earth, to lead humanity to a healed future, to the future that we want to see, we must heal ourselves first. So that's what my work is all about. Helping leaders face exactly what I've faced: burnout, anxiety, fear, so that they can get to the other side and step into their power, their true aligned power, and become leaders and guide humanity to the world that we want to see, to guide humanity to a healed future. So if that interests you, welcome to my channel, welcome to my podcast. In short, you were made for this moment. Let's get to work.